Hello and a warm welcome to the show. Now, financing options have evolved, especially with regards to buying and building homes. Now you can own property through fractional ownership. And that's what we'll be talking about a little later on in the show. But for now, here's a look at the Property of the Week segment. Located in the heart of Westlands along Mpaka Road, One West Park caters to the modern lifestyle, offering unmatched quality and style. With its excellent location, it gives you the unique advantage of having the serenity of your own private retreat. One West Park comprises of two towers, the Lotus Block with 69 units and the Jasmine Block with 64 units, each 14-story. Both towers offer a combination of 2, 3 and 4-bedroom apartments as well as 4-bedroom penthouses that have magnificent views of Nairobi and its surroundings. The first 3 floors have been earmarked specifically for parking, 1 slot for the 2-bedroom house, 2 slots for 3-bedroom house, and 3 slots for the 4-bedroom house. A total of 380 car parking spaces are available with a separate visitors parking. Residences at One West Park begin only from the 4th floor with 8 high-speed lifts ready to whisk you up to your residence. A service elevator is separate. The lighting outside the elevators has motion detectors that aids in shedding light on dark situations, preventing trespassers from remaining hidden and lighting the way, revealing any obstructions. Each unit has a self-contained DSQ with a separate entrance. The mahogany steel reinforced front door comes with a peephole for security. The magnificent floor-to-ceiling height is 3.25 meters compared to the standard height of 2.8 meters. All doors are mahogany. This beautiful half-moon sconce enhances the room's interior by giving it a ton of visual interest. The room has cable TV infrastructure and is internet enabled with ample sockets and TV ports. The dining area is spacious with bright walls that warm up the room. Big windows grace the living space by bringing in a great amount of natural light. A twin sliding door opens up to the balcony that has sufficient space for outdoor furniture and potted plants. For safety reasons, a 1.5-meter cast has been put up to ensure privacy. An aesthetically concealed wooden cabinet stores thick pipes to channel rainwater, which is harvested and used to water the gardens. Every unit has one. Fitted with a beautiful quartz countertop, the open-plan kitchen is spacious. Kitchenware was imported from Turkey and has inbuilt Samsung appliances, which include a hood, an oven, a 4-burner cooker, and a separate 2-burner flex stove. This double wash sink gives room to wash and store with no hassle. The cabinets provide extra storage space, and for safety, a fire blanket is in place. The pantry is spacious, allowing you great storage space. This 4-bedroom unit has a common bath and toilet for 2 rooms, while the other 2 are en suite, including the master bedroom. All rooms have laminate flooring and have soundproof doors and walls. The first bedroom has ample floor-to-ceiling wardrobes that match well with the brown floor laminates. The wall bracket lighting of half-moon fixtures give a delightful look. Ample TV ports and sockets adorn the wall. The bathroom has cabinets for any storage needs with a shower cubicle that is beautifully mosaic designed. The second and third bedrooms are similar, with wood laminate flooring and half-moon light fixtures as well as TV ports and sockets. The signature floor-to-ceiling wardrobes is in place, as well as big windows bringing in natural light and allowing a panoramic view of the Westlands hub. The shared bathroom and toilet is fitted with Twyford sanitary ware, and the signature mosaic shower cubicle is certainly eye-catching. An additional corner room is at the end of the hallway. This room can be used as a study room or a prayer room, as it has a simple and minimalistic look. The master bedroom is bigger than the rest, offering vast space. This massive window is both functional and aesthetically pleasing. Not only does it give you beautiful views of the estate, it brings in maximum natural light as well. The wall bracket fixtures in this room are originally half-moon but can be changed as one desires. A dresser is also in place and has enough space for all your wardrobe needs. The bathroom has the signature mosaic design finish but is bigger than the rest. Water is supplied by Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, and there is plenty in storage with hot water cylinders in all houses. Each carries 100 litres. There are a vast number of boreholes serving the area. Electricity is prepaid, and in case of a power blackout, a full backup generator is provided for common areas. Security is enhanced by CCTV cameras that are strategically located all over the estate and the electric perimeter fence. Shared amenities that residents will enjoy include a children's playground, a green recreational area where they can hold events and entertain, a gym, and swimming pool. Out of the 145 units in total, 25 apartment units and 5 penthouses remain for sale. One West Park has close proximity to socio-economic amenities such as the Sarit Centre, the Oval and Westgate Mall. Nearby schools include Oswald School and the International School. The 4-bedroom unit has a price tag of 40 million, the 3-bedroom at 35 million, while the 2-bedroom is sold at 29.5 million. These housing units are also to let.
Have you been trying to create that brightened mood in your living room? Well, you can do so by using creative lighting fixtures. That's what we talk about on today's Property Essential segment.
Although lighting is a subtle element often neglected in the aesthetic design scheme within the home, it's a very important part of decorating. Lighting contains decorative elements that either distract from or enhance a room's interior. It can make a room comfortable and cozy by accenting pieces of furniture. Not only does it affect the brightness of the room, it also changes the way paint color looks and casts shadows in ways that make the room seem smaller or larger in size. When buying or renting a house, one of the aspects that landlords and developers leave out for homeowners to embellish for themselves is the lighting aspect. And that's how Glow Lighting Showroom, located on the first floor 9 West building in Westlands, Nairobi, came into being.
Basically, this was something that we all came together as friends, and we thought of getting into the lighting business. It being a niche market, first of all, and the concept really was a showroom effect rather than having a shop. So basically, one of the directors is an interior designer, so his mind was focused on actually designing the entire showroom that you see behind me. So we wanted to incorporate different sections of how the household is actually been built. So we have the standard fittings, we have the contemporary sections, we have homes that have very rustic finishes. So everything was taken in part, and that's how we came into the lighting business. And everything that you see in the showroom right now is handpicked by us. Nothing was just pre-ordered or this and that.
Selecting the right chandelier is of utmost importance if you want your space to pull off the look you're ultimately going for.
So each and every chandelier was arranged in a way that the clients can have a visual replica of how that particular chandelier will look like in their office or house. And basically, what we've incorporated is that we wanted to come into the market with extremely unique chandeliers, what the local market is already offering. So we wanted to step up a bit, get into the market and do something extremely contemporary.
For those who are looking at achieving a certain grand look in their living or dining room area of the home, the addition of a custom designed chandelier in that space is the easiest way to get that look.
Different chandeliers have different costs. So definitely we put ourselves on client shoes and see what sort of budget each and every individual has. So a client that steps into the showroom can actually purchase the entire house with a very minimal cost, and some people who have a higher taste in terms of lighting can actually do the same. So it's not really just about selling contemporary and very expensive stuff. I mean, if you look around the showroom, the prices are extremely reasonable depending on the Kenyan market.
With the many different designs to choose from, one is able to make an informed decision when it comes to putting up chandeliers in different rooms within the house. If not sure, just get someone from a lighting shop to come to your home to help you situate and connect the chandeliers, as some are quite delicate. The designs vary with the number of bulbs in the chandelier, the size, the materials used, the glass or crystals used for something a bit more elegant, or choosing older or eclectic looking designs.
What we do is we basically sit down with the client and draw out what his or her needs are. First of all, we need to see what sort of height ceiling the person has, what sort of color scheme the house has, and what sort of mood the client has gone into. Is it a rustic house? Is it a modern house? Is it a contemporary house?
And when it comes to maintenance,
we have the glass fittings and we have the fabric fitting. So definitely the glass fitting will need a bit of cleaning, but not every single day, maybe once in a month. Behind me we have the crystal section. It's called a canine crystal. So it doesn't really bring in dust together. So when people are purchasing crystal chandeliers, doesn't mean that he or she needs to be cleaning it every day.
Whether the chandelier is modern, formal, or casual, it is able to capture attention in a way that many other light fixtures cannot.
We take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with so much more.
Welcome back to the show. Say you want to own property and you don't have enough money to do so. Well, there is fractional ownership of property, and that's what we're talking about today. And with us is the pioneer from Aberdare Spa and Safari Lodge, the CEO, George Kariuki. Thank you so much
Mel.
for joining us.
Thank you.
And I'm sure many people are wondering, what is all this noise about fractional ownership of property? What does it really mean?
Fractional ownership means means shared ownership. Let me give you an example. You have an apartment in a place, let's say Kilimani, going for 10 million, and you don't have the 10 million to invest, but you have 1 million. So you get together 10 of you, each raises $1 million, and then you co-own, or you jointly own that property. At the end of the month, when you collect rental income, say 100,000, each of you gets 10,000, or a fraction of what you invested. So that's what is called shared ownership or fractional ownership. In Europe, they call it shared ownership, and it's a very popular concept there. We are now introducing this concept here, and in our project, Naivasha project, Aberdare Spa and Safari Lodge, we have accommodation villas. Each has 4 bedrooms, and it's split into 20 fractional shares. The idea here is to make it affordable. If you don't have, like you said, if you don't have all the money to pay 60 million, we can allow you to invest in as little as 3 million. So you earn 1/20 of that villa.
And when you look at the fact that now it is beginning in Kenya, so far, how is that response since you are among the first to start this?
The reception has been quite good, and considering that the hotel we are doing is of very high standards, so we have very many people who are interested in owning villas in this hotel. Of course, most of them will not afford to buy the whole villa, so we've had a lot of interest, and the reception is very good.
Could you tell us how it's divided? How is the division done?
Okay. In our case, we have split a 4-bedroom villa into 20 shares, each going for 3 million Kenya shillings. If you buy cash, you pay in installments, we'll give you a few months to pay, and you pay at 3.6 million.
And if per se you are looking at these kinds of divisions, so you have 20 as you've mentioned, so who manages this?
Well, the hotel will set up a management team, so you will not need to look for visitors or people to occupy the villas. We will do that. We will have an in-house marketing team, and what's the other benefit on this? And I'm sure we'll talk about this. Is that we have very many investors owning this hotel, and we'll get a lot of referral business. So you stand a good chance of earning higher income than in the case of other rental assets. Let me call them conventional rental assets like apartments or mansions. I think Kenya is ripe for this kind of an investment or this kind of an arrangement. One, because the middle class is growing rapidly, And you will agree with me that not many young people or middle income earners who afford something like 60 million. But if you ask them to give you about 3 million, they will find a way of raising this money.
Do you really have to get people whom you know, or sometimes you don't actually get to know who you're sharing ownership?
You don't get to know. It's just the same, right? Same as owning shares, company shares, like we have in the stock market. So if, for example, you own 1,000 shares in company ABC, you don't have to know who owns the rest of the shares or who else has invested in it. Same case with us. You only come in the way you want. If you want to buy one share, or that's what you are interested in, you're interested with your investment, you will at some point get to know, because we'll be doing annual general meetings, so you get to interact with them. But it's not a must that you know who else has invested in the same villa.
But you do get to make your own money and make sure that it's the same amount that you had agreed on.
Exactly. And the other thing is that for rental income, we have a rental pool model, so that all the income generated from hotel occupancy is shared among the investors. The only time you earn more is if you have more shares than I do. But if, assuming we in that villa we all have one share, we earn equally.
So that means someone can have more shares?
You can have more shares, yes. You can buy in multiples of, let's say, you can invest in multiples of the 3.6 million, and you get to own the number of shares that you can afford.
Okay, now we've mentioned a few benefits as we go along, but I'd like you to tell us the advantages of getting into fractional property ownership.
This gives you an opportunity to own a property that is ready for business within your means, as opposed to buying a plot, looking for a loan to develop this plot, looking for a construction team, managing that team, and of course you spend a lot of time. And again, you are not an expert in the construction industry, so you give it to somebody who has the capacity and the ability to give you a product that is world-class status.
Do you think there's disadvantages somehow? Maybe people who would want to get into fractional ownership but they're not too sure.
You'll be having 10 free days for every share to come and spend your time at the hotel. But you cannot just walk in. You need to notify the management, or you need to make arrangements with the hotel management that you want to come in and spend a few days there.
I think it's just hotel industry that people can get into fractional ownership, or it is, it's across the board?
It's across the board. Like I just came from UK last week, and I saw an interesting advert in the Standard Evening. They were talking about shared ownership in apartments. And when I interrogated this advert, I got to know that you can buy a tenth of that apartment and get a tenth of the income generated from the apartment. So you can do apartments through fractional ownership. This idea of Mel has to own a whole villa and have it called by themselves is actually not the way to grow. If you want to grow, just invest within your ability. If you cannot afford an apartment in Kiresho going for 25 million, look for another way of investing. If there's a developer who has availed a fractional ownership model for you, just go for that. You will not lose in any way, because you have, in fractional ownership, you still get a sublease, just like in owning a full apartment. You get a sublease, you can transfer it, you can sell it if you want, so you can exit.
I want to give us a scenario where I've gotten into fractional ownership, but I want to pull out. First, am I allowed to pull out? And second, are there conditions that I'll have to meet?
You're allowed to pull out. Remember, you are investing to gain. So if you realize that now your value is 2 or 3 times what you invested and you want to pull out, yes, you're free to pull out. The arrangement is just the same as owning a full unit. So you can exit and sell what you own. In our case, we'll be keeping a record of inquiries. So if we get somebody who wants to buy, and obviously by that time we have finished selling, we will connect them with investors who, for some reasons, wants to sell. When we started selling our fractional shares at Abadi Spine Safari Lodge, we were selling at 2 million. Now we are at 3.6 million, and we are nearing completion. Now, if an investor wants to pull out once we start running the hotel, and we expect the price, actually to go to about 5 million in the next few months, that investor will pull out and will have made some good money.
And when you look at the difference between timeshare and fractional ownership of property, could you tell us the difference?
Timeshare is different from fractional ownership, because in timeshare, all you're buying is time in that facility, and timeshare is only applicable in hotels. But fractional ownership, you can either do both hotels and even residential units, property. Yes. So I find fractional ownership more attractive than timeshare, because timeshare, there is no limit to how many shares the developer can sell. But in fractional ownership, if you say this villa will be owned by 20 or has 20 shares, you cannot sell more than 20, because you have the lease registered with the Ministry of Lands.
Are there options when you look at either financing your share of whether it's a rental property or a hotel? Are there options, or is there just one way of doing it?
I doubt many banks really have much information about fractional ownership. So I know most banks will not do it, not because it cannot be done, but because maybe they don't have that kind of a product. But what we are doing, and this I think is the best way to finance an investor, is to give you a payment plan. Instead of going to borrow and pay interest, why not discuss with us how you are able to pay, and then we give you like 12 months, 6 months, or 8 months, or we allow you to pay within the construction period. 3 million, if you're allowed to pay within 12 months, is something that most people can manage without borrowing.
Is this the way to go?
It's the best way to own property. If, for example, you get to buy a fractional share every year or every 2 years, in 10 or 20 years, you have a lot of property. And you can sell these shares, fractional shares, and consolidate and invest in one property. So you end up having a property that is 100% owned by you. I believe for one to grow financially, you have to invest within your ability. Don't wait until you raise 10 million, 5 million, 6 million. Look for something that you can buy with what you have or with what you can manage to raise.
Thank you so much, George Karaoke, for breaking it down to us. And now we understand what fractional ownership of property is all about. And for those of you who want to invest in property and don't have too much money, now you know you don't need all that money, a large sum of money to invest. You can just get a round of people and invest in either rental property or even in the hotel industry through fractional ownership of property.
And that's where we wrap up today's show. We would love to hear from you about the topics that you would like us to cover. Talk to us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, search NTV Property Show, and on Twitter, our handle is @NTV Property. We'll see you next Sunday.